All right. So what did you name the podcast?
ENT Podcasts.
For now. She says ENT Podcast for now. This is episode number 1. We're going to try and do this weekly for the foreseeable future. And hopefully, we were talking the other day when we kind of germinated this idea that it sure would be cool if 15 years from now, we got to look back and watch this very first episode to see how everybody looked. That moved us into a discussion of where you were going to be 15 years from now. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Where did you say you were going to be 15 years from now? First of all, how old?
Like 32? Is that what we said?
No, not 32. She's 13 right now. 13 plus 15. You've been out of school for a little while.
28.
28. Where do you see yourself when you're 28?
Probably like just done with college and hopefully.
Yeah, I would hope by 28.
Hopefully.
Though sometimes you get derailed and things happen. Or maybe you just keep going to school and school and school, and you have your second doctorate at 28, or your first.
Well, I want to be.
Depends on the type of doctorate.
Well, I want to be a pediatrician, so.
What makes you want to be a pediatrician? Because that wasn't always.
Well, I used to want to be a teacher, but I just think it changed. I don't know why, but I like learning in science class about like the human body and all that stuff. So I don't know. I just thought being a pediatrician would be fun.
Because you love kids. There's no doubt about that. Talk to us about your summer job for a little bit here.
Yeah, I babysit for 2 little kids. One is 3 years old and one is 5 years old.
How's that going?
It's going good.
How often?
3 days a week from 8 to noon.
8 to noon, a regular gig, a regular job. What's the biggest challenge?
Probably when they throw tantrums.
Do they throw tantrums? Which one of them throws tantrums? You have to say names or anything. Just which one of them throws tantrums? The 5-year-old or the 3-year-old?
It depends on the day.
Yeah, they both do? What happens if they both get cranked up at the same time?
Well, then I usually just say, okay, we're going to calm down in your rooms for a couple minutes, and I'll come and check on you.
Oh, it's separation, huh?
Yeah.
Divide and conquer. Whose room do you go into first, then? Like, okay, it sounds like they're at least not screaming anymore. They don't scream, but...
Probably because he can usually, like, talk.
Yeah.
Oh, oops.
Yeah. Oh, because he can go in there and he has, like, magic touch a little bit to talk to his sister, especially if trying to get her to do something. So you're making some money. What are you going to do with this money that you're making from...
I'll probably save most of it to my college account, but then I'll spend a little bit of it.
That's cool. Especially if you're going to be a pediatrician, we're going to need that college account.
Yeah.
And where do you want to go? Because we've had this Madison. She wants to be a Badger. She doesn't recognize her dad's Hawkeye ties. She wants to turn me into a Badger. You think I'll turn into a Badger if you go to Madison?
Maybe. Probably not.
Okay. All right. So that's a little bit of pre-banter here. Let's get into what we're watching. I think we're going to try and do this a little bit every week. She's going to tell me what she's watching. I'm going to tell her what I'm watching, whether it be on Netflix or things that people have recommended or movies or whatever it is. And then we're going to recommend something for each other each week. So this week, I'm going to recommend something that she watched for next week. She's going to recommend something for me to watch. Then we'll discuss why you like it, why you recommended it for me, and those kind of things. So let's start with Evelyn. What are you watching? Like for you, not your recommendation for me, but what are you currently watching? What are you?
Right now, I'm only on episode 3, but I started Outer Banks a few days ago.
Outer Banks, and this is, now I've never seen this, but this is like a Netflix original thing.
Yeah.
And it seems to me, from what I've heard just a little bit, your sister watched it? Alexis watched it?
I don't think so.
I think so. I think you should ask her. I think maybe she did. But it seems a little adultish to me. Is it a little adultish?
Not even at all, really.
Not even at all?
No.
Because it's like kids in the show, but when I say kids, I feel like they
They're
are
teenagers.
late high school.
Yeah, that's what
Maybe
they
even graduated high school and then are in the summer.
are. Yeah, it's just about these teenagers, and they go out on, like, I don't even know if it's like a river or something, and they
Okay, but it's on the water,
yeah.
such the why it's called Outer Banks, I suppose.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And they just find this compass, and they're trying to figure out. So this one guy, his name is John B, and his dad went missing a year ago, and so the compass they think is related to his dad, and they don't know if he's dead or not.
Oh, so it's like a mystery show?
Yeah.
Like a long mystery, or do they solve little mysteries each episode and then there's kind of a long
It's
arc?
a long mystery, I think.
Just each one of them is this kind of continuing one long story.
I think
It's
so.
not like Full House,
No,
where they,
not even close.
you know, where they really, each episode doesn't really matter what order you watch them in sometimes.
Yeah, you definitely need to watch them in order. Plus, I'm only on the 3rd episode, so if I'm getting some of this wrong, oops.
Well, there you might be inspiring some others to watch it with you. So how much? Just one season? Or is it 2
I haven't
seasons?
looked.
Okay, I think it's new, so I think it's
Yeah,
only
I think it's
one season.
it's
Okay, what else are you
animation.
watching?
Well, on Disney Plus, I'm watching Lab Rats Elite Force.
The Lab Rats. That's a good recommendation for anybody with kids like this age and younger, I would think. The older kids are going to enjoy it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun show. It's like your typical Disney school kind of show where there's these teenagers. I guess they're kind of like
They have like
special powers. Some of them are robotic. Some of them are like superhuman.
Yeah.
And it's really funny. Yeah, I've watched a few episodes of Lab Rats and have enjoyed. I like Adam.
Yeah, me
Right?
too.
Adam is kind of the dumb one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Davenport, that's where he is at, right?
Yeah, that's Lab Rats, but now I'm on Lab Rats Elite Force, and it's different.
Okay.
I don't know. There's new characters
Yeah.
and stuff. It's just like a newer version.
So who's your favorite like YouTuber, TikToker, whatever at the moment? Who are you?
On YouTube, I love watching the LeBrant fam.
Okay, I think I have peeked in on this while you've been watching occasionally, right?
You have.
Don't they always, isn't it always them? It seems like they're just touring their house. Like,
No.
ooh, this is going to be the mystery room. And what are you guys thinking?
You watched the house tour with me.
Oh, I think I've had a couple of house tours from them. Maybe just coincidentally. But
Yeah.
don't they live in like a giant house? Aren't these people like...
Yeah, they live in a really big house.
Yeah.
They just bought it. They used to live in a smaller house.
Maybe we got to start YouTube in here. Let's see if we can get ourselves... We have a pretty nice house, but yeah. So that's your the LeBrant family. Okay, how about TikTok?
On TikTok, I just kind of watch just a bunch of things on the For You page.
For You, so it like has some sort of algorithm that knows what you watch.
Yeah, like if I
And
like
then-
a video, it'll like put.
Do you think
related
that's
things,
like-
I think.
Do you think that's like a little creepy? That businesses are looking at what 13-year-old kids are watching and then recommending and specifically moving certain videos to the top of a list to try to get you to watch those particular videos?
I don't think it's creepy. I think
Okay.
it's smart, then we know so then we're watching the videos that we like.
Okay, so you like it. You like that. Well, now I don't have to search around. The convenience of not having to wade through hundreds and hundreds of videos and not having any idea whether I like them or not. At least these are going to be something similar to what I have.
Yeah.
Okay, so you would give up a little bit of your privacy, right? Because what you're doing is you're telling these companies about you and about your habits and about what you like. A little bit of your privacy in order for convenience. I think that's fairly reasonable. I think that's what most people would say.
It's owned by from people from China.
It sure is. And some people have problems with it.
Yeah.
Some people who know more about it than I do.
I've seen
right?
some TikToks where it said that they're like TikTok is stealing all of your information. But I don't think that's true. Because like, what would they be doing with that?
Well, they would be selling it to companies that can specifically try to target you so that you will buy their products. For example, you just went to Target online and you ordered beauty products, correct?
Yes.
Well, how did you choose those particular beauty products?
I looked it up on there. I looked up.
You did? You looked it up on there. On where?
On Target.
Oh, okay, on Target. I thought you meant on somebody's account or somebody's TikTok that suggested it to you. No, so you just kind of cruised through Target and read the advertisement for it and said, yeah, that's what I need? You didn't have an idea before you went to Target? Hey, I need some...
No, I did. I needed some face stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
So I looked it up.
Yeah,
I got it.
Fair enough. Okay, well, here's what I'm watching. So once a week, I get together with my friends. You know my friends, right? Greg and Tim and Brandon.
Yes.
And we get together we call it trivia night, where we ask each other trivia questions, but we do a lot of other stuff, and mostly it's just our way to stay together as friends and have fun, because the four of us super love playing trivia.
Yeah.
And one of the things we do is each week, one of us picks a movie. The rest of us have to watch the movie, including the person who picks it. And then we ask a question in the trivia thing about that particular movie. And so you have to pay kind of extra attention, and you get the little details, and it's sort of fun. So this week I'm watching a movie called Run, Lola, Run, which I've heard of. And I have an inkling about what it's about, but I've never seen it. And I really, if you ask me right now what it's going to be about, I have no idea. So next week I'll give you the report on Run, Lola, Run.
Okay.
The other thing I'm watching is Avatar, The Last Airbender, which is a cartoon. And I'm watching it with Alexis and Isaac. And it's kind of a fantasy thing where there's like people with magical powers. Some people can manipulate the earth, some manipulate the air, etc. And there's this big clash, and it's kind of a societal thing. And it's a pretty fun show. So what is your recommendation for what I'm going to watch next week, and why did you pick it?
So I recommend that he watch the first episode of The Good Place.
The Good Place.
On Netflix.
Okay.
So
how many seasons are there of this? If I get in on this, and
maybe 3, maybe 4.
Oh, okay, so not that many. All right.
Yeah.
Not too daunting. What is it about The Good Place that you like so much?
I think it's funny, and it's just kind of cool to see.
It's a funny show? So I thought this was a drama. This is a funny show?
Yeah, it's funny.
Oh, okay.
It's about this girl who dies, and then she goes to the good place. But on Earth, she was a really, really bad person.
Oh, interesting.
She was
a mean girl.
Yeah, she was super mean and stuff. Yeah. But then she ends up in the good place, and not a lot of people get in the good place. Like, barely anybody ever gets to the good place. So was this a mistake? Is that the crux of the show? Is that it was a mistake that she ended up there? I get it. It's a mistake, and she's trying to figure out how to fit in so that she can stay there.
Okay. You ever been to some place where you didn't feel like you fit in?
I guess.
I know I'm putting you on the spot there, but that's kind of what we do. Like, where's a place where you were and you didn't feel like you fit in, especially at first, maybe?
Well, when I was like a couple years ago, when I was younger, and you would put me in those like summer classes, I didn't know anybody there. Oh, sure. And I was like,
I wish I could do that again. You'd be in summer class right now if you were. All right, we are back. Evie's phone, which we're recording on, ran out of space, so we had to go manage the storage quick so that we can continue here. Maybe that was their way of saying we're a little long-winded. But what apps did you delete?
I deleted my school apps.
All her school apps. She says they take up a ton of space. Yeah. And then I made you delete one app. What was that one called? Do you remember?
Butt workout.
Yes. I said, why do you have butt workout on there? Your brother would think that's hysterical that you have butt workout.
He does. It's just like, it's a good workout though.
Okay, I'm not. It's just the name of the app is kind of funny. All right, so I'm going to watch The Good Place, and I'm going to see where that goes. You are going to watch a show that I loved when I was about your age, and so it seems like this show is going to be really old, and I understand if you are hesitant about a show that's really old. But the name of this show is The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Have you ever heard of this show? The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Okay, so it's a story about this teenager. I think he's like early high school, because as the seasons go on, he graduates high school eventually. But he's from West Philadelphia. That's where he was born and raised. And on the playground is where he spent most of his days, right? So he grew up in a rough neighborhood. And his mom didn't like that he was living in the rough neighborhood. So she sent him from West Philadelphia to live in Bel-Air, which is a very rich area. So he moves from a tough area to a really rich area with his rich aunt and uncle, and then his two cousins, a boy and a girl, cousins. And so he goes to live there. And so it's this fish out of water kind of story, right? Where he doesn't really feel like he belongs because he came from a different background, but then he learns how to adapt and how to bring his own personality to different things. And it's a really, really popular show. I'm very surprised you've never heard of it. So it has Will Smith in it. Do you know Will Smith?
I think so.
Okay, tell me what you know Will Smith from. I know you've watched a couple of things he's in, but you probably don't realize who he is.
Yeah, I probably don't even know. I feel like I've heard of his name before. I definitely have, but I don't remember anything.
Okay, do you remember Independence Day, the movie with the aliens?
Oh, yeah.
So he's the guy in Independence Day. He's the main character.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that's
Gotcha.
Will Smith. So you're going to watch Fresh Prince, a couple episodes, 2, 3, you might get hooked and watch 10 or 12. I'm going to watch The Good Place. All right, so that's what we're watching. Now let's talk about, we solicited questions from our audience, right? And hopefully we have 2 people now who are going to watch this because they submitted the questions. They're going to want to hear the questions they have. Do you want to go first or you want me to go first? Or do you want to go back and forth?
Let's go back and forth.
Let's go back and forth. Okay, who did you solicit questions from?
I did questions from my 2 neighbors.
Oh, you did 2?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's it. They're out then. You can't ask them anymore. You're gonna have to ask somebody else. So you wasted 2 of your good contacts. So who are the 2 neighbors?
Well, they are my very good friends that I've been hanging out with since I was like super little, and we've just been really close. They're both a year younger than me. Their names are both Maddie.
Yeah, the Maddies we call them around here.
Yeah.
Maddie and Maddie. So what's the first question from one of the Maddies?
Well, I have
She's got
them
them right
in
there
my
in your back pocket. Old school style, putting them on a piece of paper.
I know, right? Okay, so the first question is, what,
You couldn't remember one sentence?
if you have one superpower, what would it be?
One superpower. What would it be? Okay, you go ahead. What superpower would you have if you had one superpower?
I didn't even think about mine.
Oh, you thought we both have to answer the questions.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
So, if I could have any superpower, I'd probably want to fly.
Fly.
Definitely, actually.
Okay.
I don't know, that'd be so cool.
It'd be fun.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Do you think it'd get old? I think it'd get cold.
Right?
If you're high, depends on how high you go. You don't have to fly very high, I guess, right? You literally can go far. You can wear a coat, goggles, right? Because it's going to be windy. Probably a mask, because you don't want to be eating bugs.
True.
As you're flipping. There aren't very many bugs high up, are there?
I guess
If you're going to fly 5 feet. Okay, so flying. Where would you fly if you could fly? And like, are you flying fast, or are you just kind of like maybe...
Just like flying.
As fast as a bird?
Sure,
Sure,
yeah.
fast as a bird, but not as fast as like a rocket.
No.
No, okay.
No.
All right, okay.
I don't know. If I could fly, I feel like that'd be so cool because like if I want to go somewhere, just get up and fly there.
So the reason I asked that is because that would be my superpower. I would teleport.
Oh.
I would make myself, oh, you know what? I think I want to go eat at Bibo's in Rome. Boom, I'm there. I want to go to the Butze Hute in Innsbruck. I'm there.
That'd be cool.
Right? That would be it. That would be cool. It's not as cool. Like, people wouldn't be able to see me and be amazed. Oh my God, look at that girl's flying. She's the best. I probably wouldn't have a fan club. You might get the fan club. I don't want a fan club. So, all right. So fan club. So I solicited questions from, do you know who?
No.
No, from your uncle, one of your uncles.
Oh, which one?
Your Uncle Jay.
Jay.
Yeah, Jay. Jay is my youngest brother. And I hadn't talked to him for a little while, so I had something else to ask him quick. So I got questions. Ready? Here's Jay's question for us. This one's going to be more for you than for me, the first one. Ready? This question says, and by the way, I went new school. Got him on my phone. You're old school with the paper.
Wow.
We flipped it there. TikTok. Why do kids love it so much? That's the question. What is it about TikTok that kids are like, oh yeah, I love TikTok?
Okay. So well, this is coming from me, but
Well, of
I
course.
think that they like seeing like other people come up with cool ideas and make fun videos. Like, I think they like, it's kind
But there's been a lot of apps that do that, right? I mean,
yeah, I feel like TikTok just, I don't know why, but it just became popular like that. So some people like TikTok for like the TikTok dances and stuff, but I like TikTok to like watch people do things like funny things or just like cool things. Like, I don't know. I don't really like the TikTok dances. I think it's kind of boring.
Sure.
I'm not a dancer.
Do you have a favorite TikToker? Are there like TikTok influencers like there are on YouTube
Yes,
and Instagram
definitely.
and stuff?
I don't really stick to like certain people to watch on TikTok, so I don't really have a favorite TikToker.
Okay.
But
Yeah. So my answer to Jay would be, I think they like it because it's fast. Because each TikTok is what, 30 seconds?
That's
How fast are they?
Yeah, definitely.
What's like the longest TikTok you can make?
The longest TikTok you can make is 1 minute.
Yeah, like, so they're like a minute. So they get to watch and watch and watch and watch, and they don't ever have to feel like they're committed to something. And so they go on them quickly. And I think there's this thing where it's really easy for you to make a TikTok, right? Yeah. So you get this kind of connection of, oh, I can do that. And then you do something that's really similar and you can emulate the people that you're watching, which I don't know. When I was growing up, we had video cameras and we would do slam dunk competitions on, 7-foot hoops up at Jared Visker's house, right? We would videotape ourselves. I'm Dominique Wilkins, and we do it. And I think it's the same kind of thing. It was us trying to emulate other people. Okay. TikTok. All right, second question. You put the thing way over there.
Well, actually, I remember the other one. When you were like a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Okay, so it's a really good question. When I was a kid, at first, I wanted to be an athlete. I think lots of kids want that. I thought I could be a baseball player. I thought I could be a football player. I thought I could be, all those different kinds of things. Then I wanted to be a lawyer. Do you know that? I really did. I really did. So my grandpa was a lawyer. My grandpa Crotty, who you never met, but Grandpa Crotty was a lawyer. And I got it into my head that I wanted to be a lawyer. And I don't know why I ever stopped doing that, because I think I would have done fairly well. Because what I ended up being was an English major, which a good portion of lawyers have some sort of English type of background. You end up doing a lot of writing, a lot of technical writing, a lot of communication, a lot of those things to be a successful lawyer. So I think I would have done okay. I had a Harvard t-shirt that I love to wear. I thought I was going to go to Harvard and be a lawyer, but I think, even younger than you when I lost that. Then I wanted to be a computer programmer.
Oh, yeah.
I did for a little, kind of, right? Like I programmed touch panels, but I guess what I envisioned was programming video games or security systems or things that were a little bit more intricate. But I just didn't do very well in my computer programming classes in college for a lot of reasons that were 100% my fault and not being ready and being able to adapt to things. And so then I veered away from that too. So, yeah, when I was a kid, a lawyer, an athlete, a lawyer, a computer programmer, and I didn't figure out that I really probably wanted to be a teacher all along until I was like 30.
Wow.
Yeah, so don't get discouraged if you don't figure out what you want to do, because it doesn't always happen.
Okay.
All right, question 2 from Jay. Number 2. Ooh, statues are being torn down / defaced lately.
Oh, yeah.
Is that something that should be happening?
No.
No. Okay.
Wait, is it because of like all the protests?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't like that because I don't like the crazy protests. I think it's too violent. I think peaceful protests are the better way to go.
Okay. There's a lot of that happening too.
Yeah, I know that there's a lot of that, but like
Okay.
the big protests that are happening that are pretty violent, and they're like taking down the American flag even, and
Oh, I guess I haven't seen that one. I don't think that's maybe.
yeah,
I mean,
that happened.
when you get lots and lots of people doing any sort of activity, you're going to have extremes, right? Extremes at both ends. And some people use this type of platform and time for protests to do, try and make the protest about things it's not really about.
Yeah.
So I don't doubt that there are people that are very upset at the United States and are taking the flag down. But what he's asking about is, let's say there was a statue of Robert E. Lee. Do you know who he is? I feel like you might. Robert E. Lee. Didn't you learn about the Civil War a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, so Robert E. Lee was
the general for the Confederate.
Right, one of the generals for the Confederates.
Thank
what were
you
the
to my social studies.
Yeah, right on. What were they fighting for? What was one of the big things they were fighting for?
One of the big things that they were fighting for was for, like, black people.
Okay, so General Robert E. Lee was fighting against them.
Yes.
Right, he was fighting to save the right to own slaves. So
Yep.
one of the things that he's fighting for, the main reason why people eventually went to war was because of that. Do you think we should hold up General Robert E. Lee, who fought to keep slavery, as a beacon of our society and put a statue of him up?
No.
No. Okay, so there was a big statue, more than one statue. So do you think those should come down? That's the question.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, if it's not, like, I don't even know.
Mm-hmm. It's a tough question. This is a hard question, a serious question. It's certainly okay to not know.
Yeah.
Or to have conflicted feelings, like yes,
Yeah.
but, no, but. That is, I think that's where most people fall. I don't know if there's a whole lot of people that are 100% yes, that is exactly what we should be doing everywhere right away today. And I don't think there are a whole lot of people that are saying no, never, doesn't matter who it is. Right? I heard a decent comparison. Do you know who O.J. Simpson is?
No.
So at one point, O.J. Simpson, he's an athlete. And he was a football player, and he was a hero. People loved O.J. Simpson, right? He was a running back for the Buffalo Bills, and he set all kinds of records. It is certainly possible that it didn't happen. This is a hypothetical. Certainly possible that they would have built a statue of this guy. Okay? Eventually, what we learned, and what happened later, was that he killed his wife and did a lot of other bad things. If you have a statue of somebody who you later learn is not the person you thought they were, or who is representing something that is bad news, should you bring the statue down? Should we, if there was a statue of O.J. Simpson, should we have taken it down?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
I think so too, right? I think if we learn new information, then we shouldn't hold, because statues are for the best, the people that we're supposed to. That's why you make a statue of things. That's who you're looking up to. right? And if these people that we're looking up to, we find out, no, the things they did, we shouldn't be looking up to, I think you should take the statues down,
Yeah.
right? And the argument, so sometimes the argument is, but then we'll lose our history.
True. That's true. I guess. Yeah, that's why I don't really know.
Okay.
Because, like, there's so many
Okay.
reasons we should and shouldn't. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. Do you know who Joseph Stalin is?
No.
No. You know, there's no statues of him around. Do you know who? How about Hitler? We can go extreme, right? What's the name of the corollary that eventually all arguments end up there? Yeah, of course. We all know who he is. There's no statues, right?
Yeah,
We still know our history, right? We don't need statues to remember history. So I am with you in that I think people should collectively remove the statues instead of demanding and pulling them down against the law, right? I'm putting that in quotes for a lot of reasons. So that would be nice. The frustration is, even to the people who the statues are offensive to, they've tried, and they keep trying, and their voices, they feel like their voices aren't heard. Okay. Like, even though we're trying and getting it taken down and telling people it's offensive to us, we're getting hand waved away. Like, yeah. Sure, it's offensive to you. Okay.
Okay. Well.
So then what should those people do? They tried, and then they try again, and then they try again, and then they try again. And they're not, they keep telling us they're not being listened to.
Well.
Just eat it? Just like accept it? I mean, maybe. I guess. Sometimes you have to eat things in this life, right?
Yeah.
You're right. But what if you're the person eating it over and over and over?
I would get upset.
I would get upset. Okay, sorry. I don't mean to keep you going on that one. There you go. That's our thoughts on that. All right. Third question. Do you have 3 questions or you only had 2?
I have 4.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Okay. We better get going. We're at 17 minutes. We're going to end up with an hour-long podcast. I love it. Let's go. Rapid fire here.
Okay. If you had $1 million, what would you do with it?
Oh, my gosh. $1 million, what would I do with it? I feel like, right, the answer is supposed to be I would give a whole bunch of it away.
Yeah.
Right? I would give some away, but I don't know. I'm kind of I feel like people are more selfish when it actually happens to them than the pie in the sky, oh, if hypothetical thing. So I don't think I would give away as much as my brain is initially saying, give it away. I would for sure have the money to send all of you to college, to whatever college, to pay for the college. That would be number 1 on my list because I really feel like education is so important and so ridiculously expensive that that's the number 1 thing I would want to do, is do that.
Thanks.
You're welcome. That is more selfish than it sounds. Sounds like I'm doing that for you, but a lot of that is for me as well. So that I would probably, my car is old. Get a new car. Yeah, it's time for a new car. So I would probably do that. New deck.
Yes,
We've been wanting a new deck and putting it off, and it's embarrassing to even have people over and look at the deck at this point. That's okay. What about you? What'd you do with $1 million? And then I'd save the money probably.
Well, I mean, if I had $1 million, obviously I would put a lot of it into college.
Okay. Might cost $1 million by the time you get there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I definitely do save a lot of it to college. And then, I mean, I'd probably donate a little bit of it.
Okay.
I mean, but a college costs a lot of money.
To what? While I'm getting the next question up here. To what? What you say you would donate it? Where would you donate it?
Charities? I don't know.
Okay. Any particular charity? That's my question. Because I know when you say
really
donate money, of course you mean charities.
Yeah, but I don't really know any charities specifically, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't tell your age either. You get to hang out at home by yourself all day. How do you spend your day and evening? There's a lot less social interaction, thankfully, trying to work together to make it through all this. But so what do you do? What do you do all day?
Okay. Well, I sleep in. Got the whole day.
True. Stay up late too. Annoying.
Yeah. And then I'd probably bake. If I had the
You
whole
do bake.
If I had the whole house to myself, I mean, I would have time to like cook myself.
Okay, he didn't ask what you do if you had the house to yourself. He said, what do you do all day?
What do I do all
Yeah.
day? Oh.
Yeah. What do you do all day?
Oh.
You babysit. We went through that already. You got
Yeah.
3 days a week where that's half the day, so that's good.
Then I guess. Well, usually I kind of like when I get home from babysitting. Then normally I would eat lunch and then
A little quicker here. We don't have to.
I'd eat lunch.
Rapid
and then
fire, remember.
I usually go on my phone for a little bit and hang out with my neighbors.
Yeah, a lot of outside time. Ride your bike, bounce on the trampoline,
Yeah, and then
play with the neighbor.
yeah, it's not too exciting.
Yeah, and I have all day and all evening sometimes as well, and most of the time.
Okay.
Yeah, most of the time I am trying to keep Isaac happy, and I'm cleaning up and just doing the stay-at-home dad thing, where I do laundry and I do dishes, and then I do dishes, and then I do laundry, and then I pick a few things up, and then thankfully the kids are okay in helping out. You are fantastic. You do way more as a kid than I ever did, that's for sure.
I love to clean. I
know you
love
do,
to
and
organize.
I love it that you love to clean. But then like today, I went and I chopped a bunch of wood and I worked outside for a little bit, and I don't know, just kind of make it through the day that way. What's your third question here? Rapid
Okay,
firing.
okay.
So
That's the last one.
yes, last one.
If you could bring anyone back from the dead, like anybody ever, who would it be?
Right now, today,
Yeah.
Martin Luther King Jr. We need him.
That's true.
We need him, and we need his passion. We have a lot of passion, but we need his passion and his authority and his ability to lead. The young people in our nation have done an awesome job of being active and making their voices be heard. And I think we are in great hands with people who are engaged with the things around them rather than just letting things float by. I mean, and the youth have a tendency to kind of shrug their shoulders at significant social issues, and young people are getting more involved in that, and I think that's great. But I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Plus, I would just love to hear him speak.
Yeah.
Well, as somebody who teaches public speaking and talks about great communicating and all I would just love to have him back around. So,
Yeah.
who
that
are
would
you
be
thinking?
great.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't really think about it. I have no idea. That'd be so hard. It'd take a lot of time for me to come up with someone. I don't know.
You don't know. Okay, well, maybe we'll continue and you can answer it next week.
Yeah.
Right? You can think about it
Sure.
again. We can kind of hold it over. Okay, so last question. Here we go. What is each of ours most memorable moment at a Smith family gathering? Remember, this is from my brothers. We get together a lot at Smith family gatherings. I hope we get together this summer, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
We're going to have to do it via distance or some outside thing where we only get together for a little bit. Or I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, what's your most memorable moment or time or event at a Smith family gathering?
Oh man, there's so many.
It is fun. It is super fun.
Oh my goodness, that's a really hard question because I always love any time that we spend time with them. Well, I definitely love going to football games, and I love when we do Christmas, because Christmas is just, I feel like it's just like that time of year and it's so fun. And the past couple times when we went to Walmart with the
I
cousins,
was going to say, that's going to be your one, the time you guys all bought fish, right?
yeah.
We let the kids loose and gave them $5 each or something.
No, you gave us $20 each.
I didn't do that. Maybe Grandma did
Yeah,
that.
probably.
No way do we give you $20. Because that would have been like $200 that you took to Walmart. And you guys came back. So anyway, they all pooled their money and came back with fish. A fish bowl and a bunch of fish and fish food. And one of the fish needed salt water and died an hour later. And one of the fish fell in the garbage disposal and Grandpa couldn't find it. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. Oh, that was really funny. Yeah, good answer. My answer would be, I don't know, I guess the most memorable, maybe the thing I look back on the most fondly would be one of those last times when we were in New Ulm. You kids were really little. It's before Mom and Dad moved to Atlantic. So it's been a long time. Like not everybody was born. Not everybody that we hang out with now for sure was born at all. But we'd sit out in the back and we'd like take the couch up in the middle of the hill and we had spectators who'd sit on the hill. We'd play croquet and we all got dressed up in costumes and we played music for entrances and we got so into it. And it was just to entertain each other, right? The whole idea was I will look like, a clown and I will dance and be totally goofy just so you all laugh at me, right? I'll spend a whole,
fun.
It is fun. It's totally fun. And we kind of still do it a little bit, but I don't know, the problem, maybe the reason we don't is because we keep getting bigger, right?
Oh,
we get an Alexis, and then we get a Jacob, and then we get an Evelyn, and then we get a Kelsey, or a Grace.
Yeah,
and then we get a Max, and a Kelsey, and an Isaac, and and it just keeps going. So it's hard to chase all those people around and get dressed up in costumes and feed everybody, but we still have a blast. And certainly shout out to any time we reach about 3:15 a.m. staying up, which is a common thing that a few of us do. Those hours are certainly some of the most memorable too. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up. I think we've gone past the time. I can't see what the time is on here, but certainly with a couple of breaks in here, we're going to try and stay quick. The last thing we need to discuss is the name of this podcast. What did we call it at the beginning?
ENT Podcast.
For now. ENT Podcast for now. Do you have other names?
No, I think.
Oh, you like that? Like extra and terrestrial podcast.
I mean, if you want to come up with a better name, then go for it.
Oh, okay. But the gauntlet has been thrown down that you have the name for the podcast, and it's up to me to come up with a better one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See you next week. Watch The Fresh Prince. I'm watching The Good Place. Maybe I'll call you for questions.